We're going to resume our program now with Dr. Charlotte Frank, Senior Vice President of McGraw-Hill Education, one of the best educators I know, who is peripatetic, has boundless energy, and she's always in another city. I can't keep up with her. She's amazing. And I'm pretty energetic, too. She will present the Distinguished Leader in Education Award to Harold McGraw III, Chairman, President, and CEO of the McGraw-Hill Companies. Dr. Frank.
It is now my privilege to introduce one of this country's most passionate, dedicated, and caring leaders in education. McGraw-Hill's Chairman, President, and CEO, Terry McGraw. At another time, I'll tell you how he got to be called Terry McGraw and not Harold McGraw III, but that's another thing. Terry has demonstrated outstanding leadership within the company and outside it, and is a leader on the national stage and around the world. He embodies McGraw-Hill's mission of creating a smarter and better world. Under Terry's guidance, McGraw-Hill Education has grown to become a leading global innovator in the development of teaching and learning. He has championed the cause of using technology to make higher education more accessible, affordable, effective, and adaptive. Remember, effective. And from pre-kindergarten through high school, McGraw-Hill Education is leading the way to introduce new interactive learning systems and has launched a center to focus on helping districts turn around schools that are not working. A passion for education runs in the family. Terry's father, Harold, was a well-known advocate for literacy. In 1988, the company established the Harold McGraw Jr. Prize in Education to honor Harold's lifelong commitment to education. That was 23 years ago it was started, and that was to mark the corporation's 100th anniversary. I'm proud that thanks to Terry's commitment, the prize continues to be one of the most prestigious awards annually given in the field of education. Now, it's very interesting, because on the cover of the last issue of Education Update, and whom you saw before, is Terry McGraw and Matthew Goldstein and Dean Michelle, but is also Jeffrey Canada. What you don't know is that Jeffrey is also a former McGraw Prize awardee. People such as Wendy Kopp, when she was first getting started with Teach for America, she became a McGraw Prize awardee. We have researchers including Ted Fisk, Gene Mayeroff, and 3 other major people who identify the best people in whatever category we have for that year. And then the judges select them. Who are the judges? The judges are former McGraw Prize awardees. They are very careful that only the best are chosen. And they include Jeffrey Canada, Tom Pezant, Freedom Rabowski. I can go through the names, extraordinary, but I don't have the time. But we are very careful that the judges who know about education are the ones who are there. Now I get back. So this is part of this legacy of integrity. Outside of McGraw-Hill, Terry is active in a wide range of organizations committed to helping students and adults learn and develop, serving on the boards of the New York Public Library, Council for Economic Education, the National Academy Foundation, and I can go on with that. And both here and outside the U.S., Terry's opinions on education policy are sought by government, business, and NGO leaders. Through his service on the boards of the Council for Industry and Higher Education in London, former chair of the Business Roundtable, as vice chairman of the International Chamber of Commerce based in Paris, and through his travels through India, China, and emerging markets around the world where McGraw-Hill has operations all around the world, Terry delivers the message that all of us need to do more to close the growing gap between the skills students have learned in school and those they need to succeed in the 21st century knowledge economy. These things don't happen without someone who really cares. My boss, Terry McGraw, he cares about everything about education, and that does not exclude the arts. Music, we know, are near and dear to everyone's heart and will help them to be more successful. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet a very special man, Terry McGraw, formerly called Harold McGraw III. All right, now I have my last. He deserves this and more. Terry, it is my honor to give you the Education Update Distinguished Leader in Education, 2011 Harold McGraw III, to President and CEO, and not the chairman, of McGraw-Hill Companies. This is wonderful. To you, Terry.
Okay, thank you very much. I can now breathe a little easier. I travel with Charlotte to schools and administrations and a lot of places in this country, and I never, ever know what she's going to say, and I just hold my breath and whatever. She's an extraordinary person, and you know, like all of you who do so much in terms of the belief of what we're doing in terms of educational reform. And Charlotte, you've spent a lifetime in the educational reform space, and if we're giving out awards, you hold on to it. You are a deserving one of that. I want to, this is like a love fest here. Everybody here is so excited, and when you take a look at the names in the book that we were all given as we came in, you've got the Educators of the Year, the Teachers of the Year, the Advisory Board, all of these people in you that have done, again, so much in all of this, and it's so nice and it's so special to get recognized in all of these ways and in all that. But we really share all of it together because it's the kids that we're about. It's a reform movement that we need to accomplish, and it's got our hearts and it's got our minds and it's got our will in terms of doing that. I want to thank Education Update. I know a little bit about publications, and Education Update. I was a little concerned about when I first saw it. I didn't think it was really going to, get the gravitas, get to the varsity level of the issue, and how wrong I was. Pola is a very special person, and she has brought and developed a stellar reputation for Education Update. And you can, and the part that I like so much, it really speaks to the heart of what education reform is about by celebrating all the people that are making all the difference in doing it. So Pola, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here on that. And now, as you were saying, Ann, this is very humbling. When you're in the space with Michelle Anderson and with Jeffrey Canada, that's pretty high ground in all that. And so I think that your committee that decided all of this got it about 2/3 right in all of that. But I'll take the association with it. And, as he was saying, Jeffrey was saying in his video, we've had an opportunity to work together on a number of things. Jeffrey is an extraordinary person in so many possible ways. I was telling Ann, I've heard so many of his talks, and I was with him on one where he gave a talk about how he hates his son. And I thought that was a little strong. But he was saying how much he loved him and all of the nurturing and all of the hopes that he had for him. And he said, and we wanted to, get Harlem. We wanted to turn it to the right kind of place and all of that. And he became a lawyer and an investment banker. And he moved into Harlem, and I couldn't afford it, and I had to move out and all that. And it's just such a wonderful story about him. So Michelle, Jeffrey, and Ann, in terms of representation, it's such good company to be in. I also want to thank a couple people very quickly. Ann and Andrew Tisch, pillars of New York City. Thank you. Thank you for helping make all of this happen. And Matthew Goldstein, he's not chancellor. He is the chief talent officer for New York. And when I hear that he's in our building, I get very nervous and all that. He was looking for the head of the new School of Journalism at CUNY and came and got Steve Shepard, who was our editor-in-chief at Business Week. And by the way, Steve had came to me when he was going to be stepping down and said to me that he had been offered the dean of the #1 journalism school in the country. And I was so pleased for him. And then the next week he comes in and he says, I turned it down. And I said, why? He says, I'm going to CUNY and I'm going to start a school. And I said, this Goldstein guy, he works pretty well. And he's done it again with Michelle Anderson. So he's something on that one. Robert Jackson, Jeffrey got it right on that one. Richard Brown, Maggie Hickey, it's nice to see you here instead of a screen. Jay Hershenson, your wife Rebecca, and all of you, thank you very, very much on this. Let me just make a couple quick comments. I, like you, am very optimistic about education in America. On this one, you and I know all the challenges. We know the problems. We know graduation rates and dropout rates, and we know, the unevenness of it and all of that. The challenges are great, and I don't mean to diminish them. But what is so makes you believe and makes you optimistic is our shared determination to solve them. And that's what everybody in this room is trying to do. And we see that. We see that in the lives of parents who are trying desperately to get their children to a better place. We see that in enterprising teachers, a number of them in the book today. We see it in innovative schools. And there's so many wonderful examples of the kind of achievement that we can say. And we see it with caring administrators as well. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Philadelphia. And I was spending time with a very special person, Superintendent Arlene Ackerman. Again, the energy, the attitude, all the things that we believe in and think about, I love the woman. Arlene is just one of those special, special people. She ran the Washington, D.C. school system, the Seattle school system, the San Francisco school system, and now is running the Philadelphia school system. She's retired twice on that one, and she can't do it. She works 24/7. She works with parents. She has all sorts of programs, teachers, administrators, and just tirelessly. And where do you find people like this, that care so much and are so committed to doing it? And it's a role that we all play in terms of whether we're advocates, business leaders, philanthropists, or educators in that one. Now, I really do believe we're facing a pivotal moment in our system. And we need to have the collective will to be able to find ways to capture all of this. And in particular, new digital technologies have given us the opportunity of the century to transform learning. And I believe this. And I know there's a couple schools of thought here. One is that digital overall is going to be like a blackboard or a projector. It is going to help the traditional system. There's others that think that it's going to completely transform the system that we know and I'm a believer of that. We have always known that different children learn in different ways. And now, for the first time in history, we can personalize instruction around an individual, around an individual's needs for students anytime, anywhere, any place. The digitization of education is the new frontier of learning. And as we have seen at McGraw-Hill, and working very hard on this, it will liberate students and teachers from that one-size-fits-all plan. Not even students who can't even ordinarily afford tutoring can receive individualized instruction on a daily basis. And this is just the beginning. Ultimately, the classroom of tomorrow will look very different than the classroom of today. But as much as technology is changing our schools, the key to effectively linking students with technologies, as Pola told us, still will continue to be teachers. And one thing that should never change, ever, is our gratitude that we owe to the educational professionals who are on the front lines of preparing our students for tomorrow. Thank you all very much.